Welcome back to TV5 News at 9. It is time now for Education Matters. We are here with Dr. Craig Douglas. Thank you so much for joining us today, Dr. Douglas. We appreciate it.
Good morning.
Today we are talking about, we don't even think about it during this pandemic. There's so many things going on, but senior, juniors, they're applying for colleges. Talk to us about college applications now in the process.
Yeah, very unusual times. I always say that every segment, but this really cements it, Colette. Katie Couric, the former CBS News anchor, publishes now through a company she and her husband have founded, a publication I get by email called Wake Up Call. Now, I want to credit Wake Up Call for an edition last week that highlighted what parents can do to help support their students who are applying for college during this pandemic. I thought it was very practical advice. The article was written by Eric J. Furta and Jacques Steinberg, and they talked about the application process. They pointed out how tedious the process is and how important it is to pay attention to detail. While we're operating now electronically with so many computer screen images, their first suggestion I found to be profoundly simple but very important, and that is to print everything out before it gets submitted. Why is that? Well, with this very meticulous process, printing things out allows for better proofreading, perhaps discovering omitted words or other typos that might not have been detected on the computer screen. These can be picked up, corrected, and that makes the presentation that much better for the student applicant. Essays, we know, can be pivotal in this process, particularly important to be representative of the student's best work. So, proofreading, very important. They suggest reading the essays out loud to make sure the sentences flow, no words are missing, and that the sentences are not too long. Very practical advice, and they say if you have to take a breath reading a sentence, perhaps it's too long, it needs to be reformatted.
Dr. Douglas, that's even good with my kids. I have them do that with their English homework as well. I say, just on the computer, make sure you reread it because you can find some mistakes that you don't even know are there.
I'm the same way.
Yeah.
If I don't proofread it out loud, sometimes it escapes me. So it's true for all ages, isn't it?
Yeah, I like that advice.
Their second advice relates to the pandemic, and that's because high schools, especially in Michigan right now, are totally virtual, but in many places they're either virtual or in some hybrid. Obtaining transcripts, recommendations, and other materials from the high school can be a bit tricky. So they suggest making sure that these things are obtained well ahead of the deadline. And if there are emails or other techniques that need to be employed to secure these materials, to do it and navigate these new challenges, again, ahead of the deadline. And speaking of deadline, that's the third suggestion that they offer that I want to highlight. Avoid waiting to the last minute.
Yes.
Why? Because most applications are submitted electronically, so it's wise to build in some time for these submissions. Sometimes right at the deadline, systems can be, overloaded. The author suggests that, say, if it's a January 1st deadline, which is somewhat typical, not all colleges have the same, but say January 1st, they suggest using a softer deadline of December 30th or even sooner, just in case submissions become a challenge. And then in wrapping up today, I want to credit my wife, Joan. As you know, Joan is a retired guidance counselor.
Yes.
She and I were talking about this ahead of our segment today, and she offered another important point about essays, and that is to make sure the essays are in the student's voice. That sometimes students try to use maybe unusual words or different words to maybe sound more important than normal because, it's a college admissions, right? Well, the essay really should be authentic. It should reflect their series of thoughts and words that the student truly can use and understand.
I love that, Dr. Douglas. Such great information once again, and we will definitely come back to you again next week. Thank you for stopping by and giving us this information during this very difficult time. We need you. Thank you.
You are most welcome. Take care and stay well.
You as well, Dr. Douglas. If you'd like any more information, you can head on over to the school source page. That's on WNEM.com.